Hello, thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I would like to talk about an experimental study among co-curricular chess students in Politeknik Kuching, Sarawak. Does playing chess improve mathematics scores? Now, the introduction. The International Chess was originated in northern India and spread to Persia and later widespread in Europe. Nowadays, chess has become one of the world's most popular games. According to chess, the benefits of playing chess which more contributed to schooling, such as the benefit in raising the IQ, as well as the increasing in the problem-solving skills, spatial skills, memorization, creativity, and concentration. The objective of this experimental study was to evaluate if any significant effect of playing chess on mathematics learning and improvement between the experimental group and the control group. The respondents were the experimental group and the control group. The experimental group was the co-curricular chess students together with their regular lessons as well, while the control group was the regular lessons students without participating in chess course. Now we move on to the literature review. There are a lot of studies to identify how playing chess can promote the mathematics performance. For example, the study by Subia et al., Sala et al., Kasmi et al., Rosom et al., Sala et al. Again, Masuri, Sos et al., Trinchero, Isigos, and Trinchero and Sala. According to these researchers, the experimental group, the chess-playing students in the study, achieved better scores and improvements in mathematics learning than the control group, non-chess playing students. So, chess could be a very valuable tool to enhance students' mathematics abilities. For the methodology, this study was an experimental quantitative research. The respondents were the experimental and the control group of session of June 2019. A series of chess lessons and practices were planned and implemented to the experimental group during their weekly co-curricular class. Here are the planned contents of this chess course and practices. From Part 1, Introduction, Part 2, and until Part 5, Level 4 course, together with activities such as playing chess games, solving related puzzles, and so on. Here are the examples of some chess contents instructed to the experimental group. For the assessment, the 20 items mathematics assessment of the Engineering Mathematics 1 was used in this study. This assessment was conducted twice to the students for both groups the pre-test at the beginning of the semester or before treatment process, and the post-test at the end of the semester or after the treatment process. The analysis used in this study were the descriptive statistics, the one sample t-test, and the independent sample t-test. The hypothesis for testing in this study were the null hypothesis. There is no significant mathematics improvement for the experimental or the control group, while the alternative hypothesis, there is a significant mathematics improvement, whether for the experimental or the control group. For the findings and discussion, firstly, the mathematics mean scores for the experimental and the control groups before and after the treatment process. From this table, the mean score of pre-test and post-test for the experimental group were 9.86 and 13.28 respectively, with a percentage increase of 34.69%. At the same time, the mean score of pre-test and post-test for the control group were 9.83 and 10.67 respectively, with a percentage increase of 8.55%. This result also presented in the chart below. So the experimental group scored higher in mathematics post-test than the control group. So there was a better improvement in the mathematics score achieved by the experimental group than the control group. Now the hypothesis testing for mathematics score in post-test with one sample test. From this table, as could be seen, the experimental group had achieved higher mathematics post-test performance with T 9.639, the p-value 0.000, so the null hypothesis was rejected. Therefore, there was a significant mathematics improvement for the experimental group after the chess playing treatment. The control group had achieved the mathematics post-test performance with T 1.621, the p-value 0.119. So the null hypothesis was accepted here. Thus, there was no significant mathematics improvement found for the control group. Now the hypothesis testing for mathematics improvement with independent sample t-test. From this table, there was no statistically significant difference in the mathematics score of the pre-test for control group and experimental group with T 0.046, the p-value 0.963. This indicated that before the treatment process had been implemented, the control and the experimental group saw no statistically significant difference in mathematics learning and achievement. For the mathematics post-test, there was a statistically significant difference in the mathematics score of the post-test for control group and experimental group with T 4.936, the p-value 0.000. This indicated that After the test treatment process had been implemented for the experimental group, then it was found that the experimental group saw statistically significant difference in mathematics learning and achievement than the control group. As a conclusion, there was a significant mathematics improvement for the experimental group, the co-curricular test students, than the control group, the regular lessons students only, without participating in the test course. This result was supported by the previous studies of Subia et al., Rossum et al., Sala et al., Trincello and Sala, Isigos, Sala et al., Masuli, Trincello, Kasmi et al., and Schwartz et al., that the experimental group in the study achieved better scores and improvements in mathematics learning than the control group. Tests could be a very valuable tool to enhance students' mathematics abilities if implemented properly and accordingly in education. The institution may encourage students to learn and play chess during the free time or involved with any chess activities organized. The institution also can set up a chess club and open to all students to join. With these efforts in cultivating the chess playing in institution, it is hoped that even a short-time chess practice or chess playing among students can be a very useful tool to boost their mathematical abilities, especially in critical and problem-solving skills. For future study, this study can be extended by favorable to enlarge its sample size and scope to determine the effect of playing chess on the other lessons, such as engineering calculation-oriented subjects or subjects that need more memorization. This similar study can be repeated, but all the respondents, whether from the experimental or control groups, will be tested by the engineering mathematics 2 or even higher level to see how great the mathematics performance, especially for the experimental group with test treatment process. Thank you everyone.